Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are looking at a project of absolutely epic proportions. Seriously, it's so big it could change the economic future of an entire ocean. This is all about India's blue ambition.
So what's driving this ambition? Well, it's a massive national project called the Sagarmala Programme. And you've got to understand, this is way more than just a construction project. It's about building a brand new economic engine for India, fueled entirely by the sea.
Okay, so before we dive headfirst into Sagarmala, let's just take a step back. You're going to hear this term a lot, the blue economy. But what does that actually mean? You can kind of think of it as a grand strategy for our oceans. It's not just about the old school stuff like fishing and shipping. We're talking about the whole shebang, renewable energy like offshore wind, ecotourism, you name it. The big idea, the absolute key, is to make money and create jobs while making sure our oceans stay healthy and thriving for the future. So why is a country like India going all in on this? Well, you just have to look at the geography, really. The scale of the opportunity is, well, it's just immense. I mean, look at this number. India's got a coastline that's over 7,500 kilometers long. And let's be clear, we're not just talking about beautiful beaches for vacation. This is a massive, natural gateway to all the economic power the Indian Ocean holds. And that incredible coastline gives India control over a huge chunk of the ocean. It's called an exclusive economic zone, and it's over 2 million square kilometers. To put that in perspective, that's bigger than a lot of countries. And it is just brimming with untapped potential. Okay, so you've got all this raw potential. The big question is, how do you actually unlock it? Well, India's answer is this gigantic national program we mentioned earlier, Sagarmala. This is the engine, the driving force that's meant to power the whole blue economy vision. Imagine Sagarmala as the new maritime backbone for the entire country. It's this all-encompassing project to drag ports into the 21st century, make logistics super efficient, and connect everything seamlessly. The endgame? To turn India into a global powerhouse in the ocean economy. And listen, this isn't just about concrete and steel. The government is also pumping serious cash into specific industries to get things moving. Take fisheries, for example. They're getting a boost of over 20,000 crore rupees. That's a huge investment designed to help them plug right into all these new ports and slick new supply chains. So that's the big picture. But what does a massive program like Sagarmala actually mean for the folks on the ground, or, I guess, on the water? Let's zoom in and see how this could be a total game changer for India's fishing industry. You know, India's fishing industry is in a really tricky spot right now. It's kind of a paradox. Right off the coast, the waters are just packed with boats. It's overfished, and it's getting harder to make a living. But if you go further out, into the deep sea, well, that's a whole different story. It's a massive, virtually untouched resource. And check this out. This is where it gets super interesting. The data here shows just how huge that deep sea potential is, particularly off the southwest coast. We are talking about a potential gold mine just waiting out there, full of high-value fish. But of course, it's not that simple, right? You can't just sail out and start pulling in fish. This deep sea stuff is expensive, it's risky. You need bigger, better boats. You need modern tech, like sonar, to actually find the fish, and these things called vessel monitoring systems, or VMS, to track where you are. And you need a ton of fuel. All of that costs a lot of money. Money that most small-scale fishers just don't have access to. Okay, so this all sounds great. Economic growth, new opportunities. But it brings us to the biggest question of all. Honestly, the answer to this will decide whether India's entire blue ambition succeeds or fails. Here it is. Can India actually pull this off sustainably? Can it tap into all this ocean wealth without, killing the goose that lays the golden eggs? Can it learn from the mistakes made elsewhere? Mistakes that have led to trashed ecosystems and collapsed fisheries? And make no mistake, the threats are very, very real. You've got illegal fishing, which is already a massive problem in the region. You've got marine pollution. And then you have this awful thing called ghost fishing. That's when lost or abandoned nets just drift through the ocean, continuing to trap and kill marine life for years. It's devastating. And look at this. The problem is not getting better. It's getting worse, fast. Recorded incidents of what's called illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing shot up by 27% in just 1 year. That is a staggering jump, and it really screams urgency. So, with a problem that big, where do you even start? Well, the experts are pretty clear. The solution is a robust system of what they call monitoring, control, and surveillance. Let's call it MCS for short.
So what is MCS? Well, it's basically about knowing what's happening out on the water. Step 1, track all the vessels with technology. Step 2, put human observers on boats to collect real-time data. And Step 3, conduct thorough checks and inspections when the boats get back to the dock. It's about accountability at every stage. Now, this can't just be a top-down, government knows best kind of thing. For this to really work, it has to be a true partnership. We're talking about the government, the scientists, and the fishers and entrepreneurs themselves, all working together. Everyone has to have skin in the game. And this quote really nails it. You can't fix a problem this massive with a bunch of isolated projects. It says success requires systemic collaboration, anchored in science and sustained by people. That says it all, really. It has to be comprehensive, smart, and have buy-in from everyone. So here's the bottom line. India is building the hardware for its blue economy, the ports, the ships, the infrastructure. But the billion-dollar question is, can it also build the software? Can it create a truly sustainable model for managing its oceans that doesn't just work for India, but could be a blueprint for the rest of the world? That's the ultimate test, and that's the real price.